Hello YouTube, me greenminer13 doing another video based off the spy, and we're doing a few of his weapons for another episode of the weapon loadout. We will be going into the clocks and what I say is the best loadouts for them. Now I'll also be talking about a few of the knives and a few of the revolvers. The cloak and dagger is interesting because you can cloak with it, but as you know, the cloak, as you can see now in this video, I just went over that, didn't pick it up. But a quick shot there, and I was able to get a few cloak and run away, which is always good benefit. And these are a shout out to the Zocs, I guess. And that's the cloak and dagger, which is cool. And then there's the dead ringer and the invisible watch. All three of these gain from it, the Latrenger. Your eternal reward I would only use on the familiar fez loadout. Now, personally, each watch is special. I think if you're going to use the cloak and dagger, be a more stealthy. Do what you want. Woo! Alright, I'm just going to keep talking about it. The invisible watch is an assault, and I think the dead ringers are defensive, like in the background thing. They're all pretty good, and they're all pretty useful, except for the familiar fez and the cloak and dagger. That's a terrible combo. If you're gonna use the cloak and dagger, don't use the Seto of the Saren Spy, in my opinion, because you get seen even more, and the cloak and dagger already makes you seen, very visible. So I like having just the default stock. And then let's talk about some of the we have the red tape recorder, which is a new weapon, and then we have the hold on, okay, and then we have the red tape recorder, which saps things, but it desaps them in a certain way. And the red tape is cool because it's faster, so in case you need to quick sap it, which is why I like having it with the cloak. And then you have the default sapper, which is that. There's not much to talk about on that. The knives, we have the following. I will not talk about the festive knife or the black rose knife, because they are pretty much the same thing as the knife, just different coating. You have the kunai, which you get health when you backstab, but you take half your health away. Now this will give you a max of 185 health total, which is cool to do. I prefer comboing with the dead ringer because of how low health you get in the end. If I had to pick something to go with it, I would have to probably pick the following disguise to go with that, and then the dead ringer. And then we're gonna just continue on with that. This is my loadout for it. But you can use any. You could probably go with the Latrenger because of your probably need to use, or the enforcer, or the revolver. One of those three. For the kunai. And that's sort of the kunai. Now it does have a max health you get from it, like after a certain amount of backstabs, like you get like 185, I believe. But they may have They may have changed that to 145, but I'm not 100% sure. And that's that, but you know, I think I'll keep it with the Letranger. Anyway, next knife, the Big Earner, which gives you more cloak, but you get less health. It's sort of like a lesser version. It's cool to combo this with the Letranger, because if you shoot someone with the Letranger and kill someone, you get a lot of cloak. And then I, of course, like the Dead Ringer, but I prefer the Invisible Watch because of both of them being very good to get cloaks. But you can also fix with the Big Earner, the Enforcer. The Spy Sickle is a cool normal default knife. It pretty much deals with pyros, but if I were you, I'd mix it with that and then the Dead Ringer because of your ability to be very powerful with it. And don't forget to subscribe to Lepter's channel. And yeah, those are my following for it. You can do whatever you want with it. Anyway, and those are the certain. And then you also get these cool statues of, oh, okay, I guess ice whenever you kill someone with the Spy Sickle. So it's always a random taunt, but okay. Alright, I don't know what is up with that, but that's the knives. Now the guns of the Spy are kind of interesting. The Diamondback, which they added, where for every time you sap something and destroy a building, you get an instant crit. It's kind of like the Frontier Justice. The Enforcer was updated, so now it just gives you a buff whenever you're decloaked. And it used to be 20 points general, but you know, it's interesting. The Ambassador, whenever you get headshots, I don't use the Ambassador because I find getting the heads too hard. But if you're good with it, go for it. And, the Ambassador could go with just about anything, and the Revolver and the Letranger, in my opinion, are the first of the three that could go on just about anything. The Diamondback is I prefer the put on something where you're defensive. And that's just my opinion on the matter of what that is. And that's the Diamondback, and then there's the Enforcer. They're pretty all-round well guns, and then there's that. And there we go. And there's the Spy, and I'll explain more into the other weapons of Spy later on, but that's it. And I don't quite know if holding on to the Diamondback and the Electro Sapper and having the other Sapper work together. I have to look into that, but for a different time. This is greenminer13, and as always, join my subscription, subscribe to Lepter1, and don't forget any of that, and have a good day, and peace out, everyone.